when we were in Greece, we had the Freddo Cappuccinos. And when we got home, Erin so kindly figured out how to make them, and we're gonna show you how to make them too. So a Freddo is essentially a frothed coffee. That would be no foam on top. A Freddo Cappuccino is when you put the foam on top, and the reason why it's so different than just if you got like a iced coffee here in the United States is because the foam is cold and the coffee is frothed. So Erin's gonna show you how to do it, but this was my Mother's Day gift is he figured out how to make it for me. And now we're having Freddos all the time because they're so delicious, perfect in the summertime. And if you wanna enjoy all the goodness of life, come join us at our table. We love that you're here. We like sharing all the goodness and joy of life with you.
All right, so if you're gonna make a Freddo, here's the stuff you can start with. You need a clear glass so you can see your awesome creation at the end. You need some way to froth the coffee and the milk. We're using the Nespresso Aerocino 3. This is a product that we like to use. It gets it nice and foamy. You can also use like a old milkshake machine, or you can use a hand frother, the little wand kind, but they're not quite as strong as this. The milkshake machine is what they used in Greece, but they're kind of bulky, and so we like this because it fits on the counter and it does a really good job, hot or cold. And then you need a pitcher for doing ice, sugar if you want it, or you can use a simple syrup. And then your milk or hemp milk or almond milk or whatever it is. In this case, we're going to use half and half because it froths up really nice. You need your espresso machine. We have the DeLonghi, and we like this one. It works really well to pull our shots. To get started, the first thing you do is you're going to pull some shots, and I'm going to pull them right into this canister because I'm going to melt the sugar into it, and then I'm going to ice it to go into the machine. So we're just going to pull a regular double shot.
And so you push the espresso button. You're actually doing an espresso shot.
Yes.
So don't use the coffee button, you want the espresso button.
Oh, yep, we're pulling some
If you
espresso
have a
shots.
different machine, is it one shot or two?
Well, it would depend on probably two. It's usually a double. So you have enough coffee, or enough espresso to be able to get it to froth in the machine. Working with one shot, it would still do it, but it just wouldn't look as impressive.
And if you're using the raw sugar instead of simple syrup, you put it in with the shot?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in here. So we're just gonna put a couple little half teaspoons here. And so we have our hot shot in there, and I'm just gonna spin this around so that the sugar dissolves in there. And you can just go by kind of seeing it. Once it dissolves, then I'm gonna ice the shot because it froths up better when it's nice and cold. You wanna make sure that it's nice and cold, whether you're using this machine or you're using another frother. Okay, that's about good. So I'm just gonna get some ice in here, cubed. I just put enough to be able to just chill it. And I'm just spinning it to get it chilled. You know, some of that water will melt in there, but it's fine because it gives us more liquid to work with. If you like it stronger, you could add more shots if you want. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the last thing I forgot to tell you is it's helpful to have a strainer, a cocktail strainer in this case, and I can set that on top and I can just pour this into the Aerocino.
Because you don't want the ice to go in there.
Yeah, you don't want ice in there. If you're using a milkshake machine, you can leave the ice in your metal container and you can go ahead and do that. You're not trying to chip up the ice or anything, but you can froth it up with the ice in there and then strain it out afterwards. But in our case, we're doing this. We're gonna put the lid on, and on this machine, if you hold this for 2 seconds, it will turn blue, and that means that it's frothing this cold.
So you actually froth the coffee.
That's
part of why.
What a Freddo is, really.
Because a Freddo cappuccino is that we put the cream or the foam
Yes.
on top, but a Freddo coffee is just a frothed coffee.
Yeah, and typically in Greece, it was, I think, apparent that they typically like it sweet, because they would always ask about, do you want sugar in it? And so really it's frothed espresso and a sweetener and ice. And we saw them walking around everywhere, and that's what made us start to look around and go, what is this? It looks different. It's not just a iced cappuccino or... So you can do this for about 30 seconds. I usually just go till the light turns off. So we'll grab some ice here. And I fill this about halfway because we're gonna do a Freddo cappuccino, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a little space. So the key with this is you want this to be really small, foamy bubbles, not like bubbles, but like foam.
Look at that. That is just the espresso shots and sugar.
And so really, that right there is a Freddo. You would serve it, but we are gonna do the next step, and the next step is to make it a Freddo cappuccino. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna rinse it out.
What would happen if you just put the milk in there with it?
Sure, it would be fine, but it wouldn't.
I guess then it would be brown.
Yeah, it wouldn't look as beautiful. All right. So then, like I said, we're gonna use half and half because it really froths up nicely. And I'm just gonna put just enough to.
What do you think, like a fourth of a cup? Eighth of a cup?
Not even that. I think it was probably an eighth of a cup. Two or 3 tablespoons, maybe. 3 tablespoons. Okay, and then I'm gonna put my lid on, and then same thing. I'm gonna hold it.
Because if the light turns red, it's making it hot.
Yeah, this machine can froth milk for both hot and cold drinks. So if you have an espresso machine that doesn't have as nice a steam wand or enough pressure, it's a nice, easy way to get warm foam for a latte or cappuccino.
Okay, let's see what
And it does a really good job. It's pretty impressive.
Let's see if we can see it in there. Because it takes a couple tablespoons and turns it into a couple inches of foam.
Yep. In this case, we just are topping this with foam. I mean, you can use as much or as little as you'd want.
So you just wait until the light goes off?
Yep. I think it's maybe 40 seconds. I haven't timed it. Again, you could probably get away with 30 seconds.
But if you want to be like you're in Greece, you're not in a rush.
We're not in a rush.
There's no rush. You're just enjoying life, getting your Freddo.
Unless your wife and her friends are waiting for Freddos. Then maybe
you need to make them faster.
You gotta go fast. Okay, so here we go. We're just gonna pour this out on top.
Ooh, look at that. That looks pretty impressive.
And in the end, you have it there.
Wow.
So that is the Freddo cappuccino.
Pretty cool.
It is very cool and very delicious.
And that is how you make a Freddo cappuccino. And we're so glad you're here in the kitchen with us. We put all the links in the description below, and we hope you enjoy these with your scones or on your sunny days.